Welcome to the Maryland Scholarship for Childcare informational session. Through this presentation, we'll talk about what Maryland Scholarship for Childcare is, how to apply for it, and then how to apply it to quality childcare for your children. So what is Maryland Scholarship for Childcare? The Child Care Scholarship, CCS, formerly known as Child Care Subsidy Program, provides financial assistance with child care cost to eligible working families in Maryland. The program is managed through a centralized vendor called Child Care Subsidy Central, or CCS Central. So who's eligible? A Maryland resident that is working or in an approved training program or attending school. For families where both parents live within the same household, both parents must meet all eligibility requirements. So what we have here is a chart of family size and maximum annual income. Family size for a single parent with one child would be considered a family of two. And as long as you make under $48,637 a year, you would qualify for Maryland State Scholarship for Childcare. So how do you determine your family size? In most cases, you can look at the number of dependents that you claim on your tax return. This is not always the case, and this is where we offer our support as the Boys and Girls Club to speak with a representative to determine the best way to determine your family size. So what consists of a family size? For simplest terms, it's generally how many you claim as dependents on your tax. It is important to note that this is not always the case. It is important to state that a Boys and Girls representative will be able to assist you in understanding your specific situation. Continuing with who may be eligible. A recipient of temporary cash assistance, or TCA, or supplemental security income, SSI, or within the CCS income guidelines we reviewed last slide, are families that are eligible. You must be willing to pursue child support if both parents do not live within the same household composition. However, if there's a mutual agreement between parents, you can submit a form signed by both parties. It is sometimes in the best interest of the child or children to not pursue child support, and we can also submit a form stating this. So like family size, there are many individual circumstances that a Boys and Girls Club representative could assist you in understanding. You must also be willing to have your child immunized to Maryland state standards or provide documentation supporting exemption from immunization to be eligible. You must be willing to provide proof that each child is a citizen of the United States or a qualified alien, providing a birth certificate for each child or documentation that certifies the child's status. Note, parents are not required to be citizens of the United States. In order to be eligible, you must be willing to provide proof of identity for all members within the household composition. Proof of identity for the parent can be in a form of a government-issued document. The birth certificate or immigration status document can serve as proof of identity for each child in the household composition. You must be willing to provide a photo ID. This is only required for the head of household. You must be an individual who is younger than 13 years old and is not disabled, or an individual that is younger than 19 years old who is disabled. So these are the children. The child must be under the age of 13 if they are not disabled, or under 19 if they are. So now you realize whether you will be eligible or not. How do you apply? You must apply to CCS by filling out the Child Care Scholarship application. Seems easy enough, but the application can be a tad confusing. Again, a Boys and Girls Club representative is here via virtual meeting or email for any and all questions. You must provide the following for you, your spouse, or the child's other parent if they live in the same household. You must provide a proof of identity that can be your driver's license, birth certificate, government issued identification, or etc. Proof of approved activity, so work, school, or job training. Proof of all other income, proof of child support cooperation or payment, and proof of your address, which would be a utility bill or lease. So what happens if I'm eligible? Eligible families receive payment vouchers from CCS Central to cover their part of the child care cost. Your voucher would show the subsidy rate, which is the part of the child care cost that the state is paying for your behalf, and the family copay, the amount that the family is required to pay according to state regulation. Once you receive your voucher, you would then take your voucher to the child care provider that participates in the Maryland Excels program. The voucher is a signed agreement between the state, provider, and the parent. The voucher is returned to CCS Central for processing. The family is responsible for paying the state-assigned copay directly to their child care provider. Once the child or children begin attending the child care provider's program, the provider submits an invoice for payments and is directly reimbursed for the subsidy portion of the payment directly by the state. So what is Maryland Excels? In order for your child to attend a program and use your scholarship, the program must participate in Maryland Excels. So what do you think about when you first decide on childcare for your child? Whether you're choosing childcare for your toddler or a before and after school program for your school-age child, you're probably thinking about two key factors: cost and location. Can I afford this? And is it close to my home or work? Are the two questions parents most commonly ask when choosing a program for their children. While location and cost are important, it's even more important than you think to think about a third factor when making a decision about care: quality. One thing is clear from years of research about early childhood. The early years are extremely important to a child's ability to succeed in school. As parents, we need to be certain that our young children have access to quality childcare and early education, so they're ready to succeed in school. Maryland Excels understands that finding quality, affordable childcare nearby can feel like a real challenge for Maryland families. When you choose a program that participates in Maryland Excels, you're guaranteed two things. One, the program has achieved quality rating based on nationally recognized standards and best practices that exceed state licensing requirements. Two, the program is committed to continuous quality improvement and is supported by Maryland Excels. There are two types of scholarships. A CCS scholarship is valid for up to 12 months from the effective date. The expiration date is listed on the voucher. There are two types of vouchers: formal and informal. Formal can be used for care provided by a Maryland registered family home or Maryland licensed child care center. An informal scholarship can be used for care provided by a relative in the relative's home or the child's home, a non-relative in the child's home, or a non-relative in the non-relative's home if the care is less than 20 hours per month. Let's talk copayment. The family copayment is the amount the family pays for the child's care and is assigned by the state. The amount of copay for each child decreases if the families are receiving subsidy for more than one child. Families that are eligible for temporary cash assistance and supplemental security income have a zero copay. Many child care facilities charge an additional amount to families. This is called an additional fee and is the difference between the amounts they charge any family and the reimbursement amount and the state-assigned copay. So let's give an example, because that can be quite confusing. Let's say Happy Child Care Center charges $200 a week for a 2-year-old. Karen enrolls her daughter Sally, a 2-year-old. Karen receives a voucher from the state for $150 a week, and her copayment is set at $20 a week. Happy Child Care Center takes the weekly tuition of $200, subtracts the state reimbursement rate and the copay to find a difference of $30. So that's 200 minus 150 equals 50. Then take out the copayment of 20 to get the $30 that is now labeled the additional fee. That means Karen's weekly responsibility is a $20 copay and the $30 additional fee for the total of $50 per week. Your child care provider should be able to sit with you and explain all fees. It is mandated that payment information should be clearly addressed in any provider contract. So how can we at the Boys and Girls Club of Hartford and Cecil counties be a help to you? Maryland Scholarship for Childcare can be overwhelming. If you're interested in applying for the Maryland Scholarship for Childcare, contact the following BGC representative: Rachel Boucher at rboucher@bgchartfordcecil.org. So what can BGC do for you? We can help answer the questions you may have. We can help review and put together your packet for submission. CCS has 30 days to make a decision on whether you are eligible for the Maryland Scholarship for Childcare. However, if you have a complete packet, you could get a response much sooner. That's the end of our presentation regarding the Maryland Scholarship for Childcare. Please feel free to contact our BGC representative, Rachel Boucher, at that email that is on your screen for further information. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope to hear from you very soon.